If there's something about your appearance that you truly don't like these days, you can certainly change it if you have enough money to spend on high-end cosmetics. What happens, though, when someone with too much money seeks to change their appearance? Without further ado, let's take a peek at these filthy, affluent people who converted themselves into plastic. 1. Jocelyn Wildenstein. If you asked today's Jocelyn Wildenstein to stand next to her former self, you'd have no idea they were distant cousins. In fact, today's Jocelyn Wildenstein resembles a crudely drawn cartoon rather than a genuine person. How did this formerly handsome American socialite end up with a face that appears like it was inflated by a bicycle pump, even at the age of 75? Jocelyn was born in 1945 in Lucerne, Switzerland, but later relocated to Paris, where she trained as a hunter and pilot. On a shooting weekend, Jocelyn met rich art dealer Alec Wildenstein, and the two married and had 2 children together. Jocelyn, on the other hand, later discovered her husband had been cheating on her with a 19-year-old Russian model. And what followed was a high-profile divorce that ended less than amicably in 1999. Desperate to lure her ex-husband back, Jocelyn hatched a plan. If her husband loved hunting big cats so much, she would just turn herself into one. So after the split, Jocelyn secured a $2.5 billion settlement and over $100 million a year in maintenance, making her one of America's wealthiest women at the time. And what did she do with all that, though? She pumped it into expensive surgeries. That's what experts speculate, that she has had upper and lower eyelid surgery, brow lift, facelift, lip plumping injections, chin augmentation, fat grafting, and cheek implants, among other procedures. It's also thought that she has undergone a procedure called canthoxy, which elevates the eyes to give them a cat-like appearance. Despite all this, Jocelyn claims she hasn't had a single surgery and says her looks are all down to her Swiss heritage. Odd, yes? I've heard everyone in Switzerland looked like lion-human hybrids. 2. Matthew Sanderson. He is a world-famous drag queen and one of the show's most memorable contestants, finishing 4th in Season 5 and then returning for All Stars, where she finished 2nd. Detox may not have won the crown on either occasion, but she is without a doubt one of the show's most cosmetically improved queens. Detox rose to prominence in the early 2000s by playing in nightclubs and even appearing in music videos for celebrities such as Rihanna and Kesha. She's had a tremendous career since then, even appearing on the cover of New York Magazine in 2019 and ranking 14th on the magazine's list of the 100 most powerful drag queens in the United States. Of course, she looks totally different without all the makeup and wigs, but Sanderson himself has also changed pretty drastically in appearance. He once looked like any other ordinary nerdy kid and discovered plastic surgery at the age of 17 after attending his very first drag show. Looking back on this time in his life, Sanderson once said, "My entire life I was a string bean. I was very skinny, and I realized that I could have a beautiful body by injection." And that's exactly what he did, although the exact number of procedures that went into the making of Detox is unknown. Sanderson has previously talked about having gallons of silicone injected into his body, including his hips, pecs, shoulders, and butt. In 2018, Detox hit the headlines after a procedure designed to manufacturing the perfect six-pack went horribly wrong. 3. Nanette Hammond. I'm not a regular mom, I'm a hip mom. As the famous adage goes, Mean Girls, that pretty well sums up the 4 to 5-year-old mother of Five's attitude. This Cincinnati mom, Nanette Hammond, decided that looking normal wasn't for her. Instead, she made the decision to dress up as, you guessed it, Barbie. Hammond, who as a child enjoyed playing with dolls, has already spent about $1,000 on her transformation and has no intentions to stop anytime soon. Her cosmetic surgery journey kicked off when she was just 21. Shortly after she started dyeing her hair signature platinum blonde when she dropped $3,000 on her very first chest augmentation surgery. Soon afterwards, she started getting regular Botox injections, as well as collagen filler for her lips, something which has become a ritual these days. When Nanette reached her early 30s, she really started splashing the cash, spending about $1,700 on extensions and hair coloring, as well as $40 a month on spray tans, $350 on manicures and pedicures, and $490 on eyelash extensions. Because of her impossibly small frame, Nanette has to get custom tailored clothes made, which costs another $280 a month. And it doesn't end there. Nanette got another chest enhancement at 38, boosting her cup size to a 28 for the low price of $9,800. On top of that, she has spent $50,800 on dental veneers for that perfect cartoonish smile. 4. Jessica Alves. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that the 36-year-old Brazilian-born British television personality and former air steward is a genius. Jessica Alves has had a few touch-ups over the years, but her cosmetic surgery experience has been even more bizarre than you may think. On July 30, 1983, this fake princess was born to a Brazilian mother and a British father. As a child, Alves' grandfather purchased her Barbie dolls and allowed her to wear as she pleased. Alves, on the other hand, was never content in her own skin as a child and was harassed for her appearance, which led to an obsession with the kind of perfection that only a plastic doll could achieve. At just 19 years old, Alves had her first nose job, opening up a whole new world of possibilities, but the first doll she sought to emulate wasn't Barbie. So Alves decided to transform herself into the ultimate image of masculinity, complete with bulging pecs, rippling abs, and chiseled cheekbones. Of course, it was all manufactured. In fact, just a few of the whopping 103 different surgeries, totaling over $500,000 that went into this striking look, include a hair implant, brow lift, eye lift, ears pinned back, cheek implants and fillers pumped into her shoulders, triceps, and abs to create the quote-unquote perfect six-pack. But at the start of 2019, Alves started to come to terms with something she had been holding back for a long time. She was transgender. The image of her desires wasn't the one she had achieved after all, it was Barbie. A year later, Alves came out publicly and debuted her female name and her new look to the world. Alves now has luscious blonde locks, a curvaceous waist, full lips, and an apple bosom. She has already dropped a further $130,000 on her female transition with surgeries including six-pack removal, chest augmentation, Adam's apple and jawline shaving, a face and eye lift, liposuction. But how does she afford it all? Her family owns a string of grocery stores in Brazil, which has made them very wealthy, although it's unclear exactly how much Alves has profited from the business herself. But she'd also inherited several properties in Marbella, Spain, which she lets out to tourists. 4. Valeria Lushanova. Valeria Lushanova, a 35-year-old Ukrainian model, will appear extremely familiar if you have even a hazy understanding of what a Barbie doll looks like. That's because she's been dubbed the world's real-life Barbie, and it's easy to see why. With her mesmerizing ice blue eyes, perfectly straight blonde platinum hair, and impossible body proportions, it's hard to believe Valeria wasn't created in a factory. This life-size doll grew up in Tiraspol, a bleak city in Moldova, Europe's poorest country. Valeria rebelled as a teen and originally went for a more gothic look, but when she turned 16 and moved to Odessa in the south of Ukraine, everything changed after landing some small-time modeling gigs. Valeria dyed her hair platinum for the very first time and met a wealthy construction mogul named Dmitry. Valeria had already learned to apply her makeup and style her hair in increasingly theatrical ways by now. But with a little help from Dmitry's bank account, her metamorphosis really kicked into high gear. Nowadays, her waist is impossibly small and her proportions barely resemble those of a normal human being. But if you want to know exactly what procedures help to achieve that look, you'll have a hard time hearing it strictly from the horse's mouth. The only surgery Valeria has ever admitted to is some chest augmentations, while she claims the rest of her look is simply the product of makeup, daily gym workouts, and a particular diet. In 2014, she even stated that she had converted to a cult called breatharianism and was training herself to live off only light and air, although she soon realized it wasn't sustainable. What do you think about these people? Would you try to turn yourself into plastic with all that money? Let me know in the comment section below. That concludes today's video. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't and turn on the post notification for more.